Hello world. Gosh, I'm in a mood for moaning this morning, and right now I just want to have a quick whinge about reviews that one sees on the internet for quite expensive camera equipment, and also that one sees in magazines. Okay, now the other day I had quite a long train journey to make, so I nipped into Smith's at Charing Cross Station and bought myself a magazine. The one that I bought was this one, but I mean this is called Digital Photography, and yeah, I mean these sorts of things, I do say they come at 2 a penny, but they actually don't. They're quite expensive. I mean, this was about a tenner, I think. Yeah, £9.99. £9.99. It has on it a nice review of the Canon 6D Mark II, or at least it's supposed to have. I had a quick flick of the contents. I should have actually had a read of it, but I don't like to be one of those people that stands in a newsagent and reads the magazines before buying them. That's just rubbish. But yeah, I opened it up and there is gear, the Canon 6D Mark II. Now I know it's always terrible to read reviews about equipment you've already purchased, but you know, there is the narcissistic side of me that wants to think that I've just bought a good camera. So yeah, I thought, oh, I'll buy that. And then on the train, I thought, oh, there must be at least, you know, in a magazine this thick, there must be, you know, 2 or 3 pages to read. The review must be fairly informative. You know, they've not got many reviews of cameras in here. They've only got actually reviews of 3 cameras in here. So you think, oh, you know, there must be, you know, at least a couple of pages each, 2 or 3 pages each. But no. Where has it gone? There. This, let's stand up. This is the review of the Canon 6D Mark II. This is a $2,000 camera, full frame, with enough features on it to keep you going for like the next 10 years or something like that. And it's literally that. Most of which is waffle. And most of which is the same regurgitated crap that people put out on the internet. And even looking, this is the review of the Sony on that page. This is a Sony compact camera, but nevertheless it deserves more of a review than that. We have the specifications at a glance. Okay, here we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, including the price. With the Canon, you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 specs, including the price. So you can't even compare one specification to another, because if it's listed here, it might not be listed here. Okay? Here's the Hasselblad. 8 grand's worth of camera here that's been reduced to 1 paragraph. Most of which, again, is waffle, telling you, you know, how wonderful Hasselblad were in the past and how wonderful the format, medium format, is in, you know, the odd sentence or so, but then very little about the actual camera itself. And to expect people to take magazines like this seriously, I mean, even when you're looking at the camera techniques and things that they're supposedly trying to teach you. Dog-ear the page here. That and that are all they're saying about flash photography. You know, flash photography is quite a complicated subject and does need a little bit more of an explanation than what they've given there. And it's the same for all the other subjects and things that they're talking about in there as well. So, you know, magazines like that, just don't buy them. Just don't buy them unless they actually improve the quality of what they're talking about. Okay, because I mean the only camera magazine that really I trust in the UK, I don't buy it regularly, but I do, you know, buy it from time to time, and I used to be a major supporter of this magazine. Is actually Amateur Photographer. It really is the best camera magazine out there. It comes out fortnightly, but even in there, I've had 3 or 4 issues over the last couple of months, 2 or 3 months maybe, and even in there I haven't seen the reviews that the quality of what they used to do. So if you go on the internet, you just get, again, the same people getting their little Google News aggregator things and just copying and pasting their content into something to present. And quite often these reviews are 5 or 6 minutes long. That is not a review. Someone even dared to do the Canon 6D Mark II and call it a long-term review. The camera had only been out a month. How can that be a long-term review? A long-term review is taking the camera every which way, testing it in a number of really testing situations and showing the results. So then you get other reviewers that just basically take a hugely overexposed picture, maybe 3 or 4 stops overexposed or 3 or 4 stops underexposed, and then tries to bring it back in Lightroom at, you know, a variety of ISOs. How is that reviewing a camera? It isn't. You know, people do not in the real world take those sorts of photographs. You know, even a beginner photographer, my argument has always been actually that a beginner photographer will find taking stills at any rate easier on something that costs a bit more money, because and the settings are not just trapped in umpteen menus. You know, it's much easier if you've got a button to adjust your focus, or a button to change your ISO while it's at your eye, than having to go to, you know, any kind of menu, even a touch screen menu. You've still got to take the thing away from your eye to actually take the photograph. And then I'm afraid, Peter Gregg, if I hear the no 4K for you song again, I will not be feeling warm, human and wonderful when I watch your videos. Because 4K video is not the only spec on the camera that anyone is actually bothered about. And common sense must surely say, because I know people complain about my camera for not having 4K video, but there are loads and loads of cameras actually that you would pay an awful lot of money for, and you might expect to have 4K video, but it's usually, apart from I think the Nikon D850 and I think the new Sony A7R3 or whatever it's called, that actually have 4K video that hasn't been relentlessly crippled in some way. Okay, people say, oh, mobile phones all have 4K now, and yes they do, but look at my mobile phone. Look at the lens on that. The lens you're seeing here is 24 to 105 millimeter, and yeah, it's really dark in here. I know it's only about 9:30 in the morning. I don't think it's going to get any lighter, but this goes to show really what's actually important about video, because this is HD 1080p 60 frames a second, which the reviewers will tell you is actually quite a low spec. But what I'm doing now is illustrating the real problems that people have with getting quality video. And you know, this video, I'm sure if it's anything like the quality of the last video that is uploading now, it's relatively clear, but there's some noise in the background. My record player lid was playing up something chronic when I was looking at it on my 27-inch iMac screen. But most people don't, okay? Look at the lens on that. The lens on that. A plastic thing that's been in my pocket, probably covered in grime and rubbish. The sensor is probably not as big as my little fingernail. Whereas on here, you're actually getting full frame HD 1080p, recorded with a decent lens. So I wonder which would be the best quality. Now I'm probably going to get egg on my face here because I haven't tried this out, but I have got my camera set to 4K video here on my phone, and what I'm going to do is just try and splice in some 4K video for you. Okay, so here it is. Okay, I'm having to do it with my hand. You can see me doing it on here, but I'm going to press the button now. We're now filming this in 4K video, and I think the crucial thing here is not necessarily the fact that it's being recorded in 4K. It's being recorded in 4K with terrible light as well, and that's the issue really. The thing about filming video is not so much the quality of the actual recording codec, it's the quality of the light and everything else that goes with it. And to be honest, I doubt whether many of you will be able to tell the difference, really and truthfully. At least not to the point where people say, oh, I wish you'd use 4K for that. Okay, so really, in summary, there isn't really very much I can say, except that it's a sad state of affairs that even with the information superhighway and everything, that we can't get better quality reviews of camera equipment, or any equipment really. So really, I suppose it's just a plea that in 2018, magazines go back to providing full, comprehensive reviews about all of the features of the camera, and not just a few headline things that people splurge out and regurgitate over and over again, because that's not a review. All right. Yeah, we want to see, you know, Jared Polin, bless his cotton socks, actually does quite good reviews of cameras. So, you know, I'm not really including him in this. Also, although they disagree with Jared Polin, the Northrops, Tony and Chelsea Northrop, also at least try to give decent reviews of cameras. But it's all of the, you know, the little 10-minute things on YouTube by people that don't really know a huge amount of what they're talking about. I'm not saying I do, but you know, there are an awful lot of people on YouTube that really don't know an awful lot about what they're talking about, and just basically concentrate on headline features and give you absolutely no substance at all to anything else, okay? And I really do not want to hear the No 4K for You song again, Peter Gregg. As much as I like your videos, I'm afraid that the No 4K for You is actually wearing very thin. Okay, alright, and it'll be no Christmas pudding for you if I hear it again. See you later. Bye bye.